tell me about the events and kind of the trial and whatnot that led you to wrongfully be imprisoned.
Well, first and foremost, when I got arrested, when I first got arrested, it was a detective there that wanted me to do his job, basically try to solve the case, which I knew nothing about. And he told me if I didn't cooperate or get out there and get him something or get him some information that could help him, it was going to be said that I did it. And this guy owed me money for drugs. He just painted a whole picture when I didn't want to cooperate. And that's what he did. And it ended up going all the way to trial and getting me convicted.
How did the approach even first happen? How did they end up coming into contact with you?
Well, when they was out there investigating the crime scene, they seen a lady that was out there hysterical. And with the crowd watching, the body and stuff and out there, and she was the neighbor of the guy who was killed, and they was good friends. And so when they seen that, they went over there and started talking to her, and they were just asking her questions like, "Who come around here? Or who be over here?" She said my name because me and the guy was friends. So therefore, now the police took her up there. They were so desperate to solve a case. They took her to the station and threatened to take her kids and put her in jail. And at the time, she was a drug addict. So she was very vulnerable. She didn't know nothing about the law or nothing. So far as she knew, they was going to try to frame her for it. So she put a scenario together to fit their script that they manufactured. And that's how it all came together.
And didn't she kind of retract her statement later on?
Yes, afterwards she started feeling bad about what she had did, so she did an affidavit and told the truth about how the police made her say it and made her do this and different things that she did. And if she didn't do it, they was going to take her children away and put her in jail. And now if you tell a drug addict this that don't know the law or is in a vulnerable state because of their conditions, they're going to cooperate, And after the fact that she cleaned herself up and the years went by or not too long afterwards, she felt bad and she did an affidavit and told the truth about the police made her do this and say this, and if she didn't do this, this is what they was going to do. They tried that with me, and I wouldn't go for it. So that's how they convinced her to say it was me, because he told me if I didn't cooperate, then this is what I was going to get charged with. I said, well, man, you got to do what you got to do because I don't know nothing about this, nor did I have nothing to do with it. This guy was my friend.
But even that said, though, isn't it even after the information came about, you guys were still like in prison even after? Wasn't there numerous trials?
For Kevin, it wasn't for me. They never gave me one because we got split up after the first initial trial.
Oh, okay.
He went to another judge, and then I stayed with the original one. We got split up. That's why he went to all them trials by himself, and I didn't. My judge, the original judge, she wouldn't give me no new trials like the other judge gave Kevin. So that's how he went to like 3 extra trials outside of me.
What were you guys released though at like the same point then, or was it a totally separate situation?
After the first initial trial, it turned into his appeal was his appeal and mine was mine. That we wasn't together anymore, because once they split with the judges, it went to like he had his own situation and I had mine, and they wasn't giving me no type of action on mine, which I should have had trials just as well as he had.
So how long was it after the witness recounted what she said that you were able to be released?
Well, a new witness came along in like 2014 or 2015, if I'm not mistaken, and she told, because her father was one of the homicide detectives, she told her dad what she seen when it first happened, but he never told my attorney or the prosecutors what his daughter told him. So he withheld that information, and so he told her just to keep her mouth closed, and he would take care of it. He didn't want to put her life in danger. So what she did was, when he died, she felt so bad about what she had seen, and he hadn't done anything about it. So she got in touch with me and told me what happened, and I asked her, would she do an affidavit to support what she's saying? And she said yes. So at that time, once I received the affidavit, it was sent to me while I was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
When it was sent to me, I didn't have no attorney. So what I did was, I did it myself. I'm the one who got the habeas corpus granted and got the case overturned. I orchestrated basically a little team of prison lawyers. You know, I had a serial killer as the typist, and I had a couple of murderer guys doing the research, and then I was at the head of the table orchestrating it all.
Wow.
And once we got together, yes, this is what happened. And they said that this was the first case in Michigan that a successive habeas corpus was ever granted by an inmate without a lawyer. You know, I did all this pro se. That means without an attorney. You know what I'm saying? And once I put that little team together, you know, with a Michigan serial killer, he was my typist because I don't know how to type too well. I hired him in. I got a guy to do the research. He was a killer and never getting out. And I was at the head of the table. And once we did it like a lawyer's team, and once we put it together, I submitted it to Victoria Roberts, a federal court judge. And she said it was so compelling that she granted my habeas corpus without even giving me an evidentiary hearing. That's rare. Even with the best attorneys around, they always give you an evidentiary hearing before they grant a habeas corpus to see what you got working, what you working with. So what I accomplished by what I did was, I did my own legal work and hired some inmates to do it, and we submitted it to the court. Everything was done for her to accept it. Everything was proper for to meet the criteria. And when she looked at it, she said the argument was so compelling that she granted everything and said, you have 90 days to recharge Mr. Clark with something, or I'm releasing him unconditionally.
Wow.
Yes. And I did all of this without an attorney. I did it myself. You know?
Have you reached out to, anything, I guess with the police department or anything like that, since you've been out? I mean, is there ongoing stuff, or is it,
Yes, it is. Now, once I've got the case overturned and the judge dismissed everything, once he dismissed everything, a lawyer came in that handled this type of situation, who's I have right now. He's handling all of that.
Wow. So when's the movie come out?
Well, I'm just waiting on somebody to bite on it. You know, because I have a story to tell, and my thing is this: I'm ready to put a book out with it, and I'm ready to get on Netflix. If I don't make the big screen, Netflix will work. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a so unique case that if once it's sat down and they listen to it and see, well, everybody's celebrating y'all getting out of prison, but how? What made this possible? You see, no one ever got to the meat of things. Okay, everybody's celebrating, we out, but let's get to the root. What had to take place for all this to even happen? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And what took place was, I assembled a dream team of convicts off a prison yard to come to the table with me, and we talk and come together, do research. We had a typist, and I was the orchestrator. I was at the head of the table. You know what I'm saying? And once we came together and seemed, okay, everything looks good, let's submit it to the court. And that's what we did, and here I am.
Wow. Have you, I mean, like, how long has it been now since you've been out of prison?
Going on 2 months.
So, I mean, 2 months, I mean, you've came back into the world with quite a bit on your plate. Not just what's going on with you personally, but look at kind of the wildfires between this pandemic, the protest, everything going on. How has kind of your mental state been during all this with your own stuff on the table?
My mental state has been solid, man. I've been good. You know why? Because even though under the circumstances that the world has today and what's going on, it still beats being in prison. And I say that to say it beats a blank. Where I'm at today, it beats a blank. Because in prison, it was a blank. They had me laying on a steel bunk for almost 20 years waiting to die. I had natural life with no parole. That's death sentence. That's death row. You know, I had natural life with no chance of parole. That means when I leave there, it would be on a slab.
Wow. Well,
and I wasn't accepting that.
So where do you go now? I mean, as far as, yes, you're going to be working with a lawyer on a number of things, but do you find yourself considering the role that you've been dealt? Like, you want to be a speaker, getting your message out?
Yes, I'm gonna be an advocate for the ones that's left behind that don't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
I done been in a situation with them. I done became real close with, it may sound kind of weird and crazy, but serial killers, all walks of life have become my family. We were a family because we were all we had. And the thing was, we all had natural life bits. We was on death row, so we came close knit because we were all we had. As far as we knew, this was it. This is what the end looks like. But me, I never accepted it. So what I did, I gathered them guys together. Okay, you good with this? You good with this? I'm good with this. So we're gonna pull this together, and it's gonna work. It was so compelling. The federal judge just overturned it and stuck with it and gave me a bond off of first-degree murder on a personal recognizance, meaning no money, no type of devices to see if I was going to be in compliance or none of that. It was unheard. It was unprecedented. What I did with this case, I set a precedent has never been done with an inmate with no money. I got a federal judge to overturn a case that rarely happens with the best attorneys. When you've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, I got it done with nothing. But what I put into the work to convince her to make her decision the way she did.
So being as it may, what are your thoughts on the current legal system with, I mean, what's gone on with you?
Well, it's pretty much cut and dry because they've seen the dirt that the police did, and they see the police misconduct. It's so clearly, it's a blind man could see it. It's just all I'm doing is just waiting and allowing it to play out.
But you're not going to be one of those that's jumping in with the huge amount of protesters out there. I mean, if anybody should be...
No.
Is that just not your type of thing you want to be a part of, or your message is your message?
My message, it ain't, how I operate it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. I can still get the same message out there, and people will listen without have to doing a lot of the stuff that people's doing that just making matters worse when they think they're doing something to make it better. You know,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a part of tearing up nothing or doing none of that fixes anything, or none of that solves anything. You tearing up your shit where you live. It doesn't make sense. Where's the common sense here? You're not going to get nothing solved by wreaking havoc and tearing up stuff and doing foolishness. It's not going to happen that way. It's a way how you do things to get certain results that you're trying to obtain.
Well, what about those that are doing it the correct way? I mean, obviously you got the looters and all the other madness that's going on as part of the protest, but there's still quite a bit that are doing peaceful protests, but you don't see that as really the right force of action?
No, I don't think looting and doing all that stuff. I steer far from that.
Well, no. What I mean is those that are doing it peacefully that aren't doing the looting and stuff like that. Do you think that's helping kind of solve the current?
I mean, it can make yes, it's helping because it's aware that's an amendment right that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And and if it's for the right thing, of course you have a right to voice it because that's your amendment. But the thing is, how do you do it without breaking the law? That's the key, to stay inside of the law and do things peacefully, and you can get a better understanding from that.
Mm-hmm.
Madness and foolishness never solves anything. It just makes matters worse.
Yeah, absolutely. For those that want to know like more what's going on with you, I mean, beyond this conversation we're having, where's like the best source? Do you have a website or any of the social media stuff yet?
I don't have any of that yet. The best thing is to call me. It's nothing like hearing it from the horse's mouth. That's just an old saying that they used to say. I don't know if you're familiar with it. That's like you can see, you can listen to recordings, and then watch stuff that's been put up on website. But it's nothing like live testimony from the source itself.
But I don't think you're gonna want everybody calling you at will. I mean,
no. I mean, but till I can get to platform what I'm trying to obtain and get, I have no problem with it because, if a person want to talk and it's legitimate not to talk foolishness, I stay far from, and I know how to distinguish foolishness from legitimacy. So therefore, it's no problem with hitting that end button real quick if it's not what it's supposed to be or it's not sounding like what it's supposed to be. So I have no problem with serious inquiries, that want to know something or want to know how I feel. I'm open.
So you're a phone call away.
I'm a phone call away, and I'm going to give it to you just like it is.
So
because it's been a lot, not to cut you off, it's been a lot of conversation and people celebrate, they out, they this, and putting stories, but no one have ever heard my side to know what made all this possible, that if it wasn't for Mr. Clark convincing that federal judge, none of this will be happening right now. No one asked. And it was like, oh, you're out and we celebrating and everybody's happy, but let's get to the meat of things. What made this possible and how?
And how do you prevent something like this from happening again?
Absolutely. How do I prevent something like this from happening again? Is that the question you just asked me?
Oh yeah, I mean, from basically everything that you're talking about. I mean,
my thing is this: how do you prevent things like this? By being careful and being aware of your surroundings and who the individuals that you're dealing with. I'm more skeptical about who I encounter myself with, and what are they involved in, or what is their lifestyle outside of me, and so I won't get twisted up in it some type of way with something that I have nothing to do with.